Nerds and geeks back at it again. Yours truly, King Nerdificent Wallace Sharp in the building. I see Mo Kelly. What it is, good sir.
Buenas noches, los americanos. Bad Bunny para la cultura. Exactamente. Hola.
I love it. Thomas Talking Cunningham.
Culo. Yeah, it was an amazing show, which kind of compensated for the ass in the show compensated for the ass in the commercial spots. How about that?
All righty, let's get into it. Super Bowl commercials, something that for those like me who care not about the NFL, do not watch a single solitary football game whatsoever, not even Super Bowl. I was going to check out the halftime show and I said, yeah, I'll see it on YouTube. But my surprise is going to YouTube to look for Super Bowl spots. Every single thing I saw was whack as shit, or they were just not existent. I'm like, wait, were there just no Super Bowl ads? Because every time you look, you only find 4 or 5 Super Bowl ads this year. And really and truly, none of them were of the film genre, which we were looking forward to reviewing, i.e. the lack of a doomsday trailer. But the trailers and the commercials and all of that were absolute trash, which maybe only served to highlight the stellar, didn't see it, but everyone I know that saw it said it was stellar performance from Bad Bunny. Mo, did you watch the actual game?
I watched the actual game and I watched the actual halftime show, and I went in not knowing what Bad Bunny was going to do. I know he was going to have something to say, but I didn't know how he was going to say it. And I got to say, I was in my feelings, because if you haven't seen the show, go look at it. You can find it on YouTube, I'm sure. But it's basically a Latino superhero origin story, talking about Latino peoples in America. It starts in a very stark way. He starts right in the sugarcane fields. He's telling you, this is where we came from. And if anything, he took a page out of Kendrick Lamar's book, where he's saying, I'm acknowledging the fullness of the culture, even the parts that y'all don't want to recognize, y'all don't want to talk about. And he talked about, basically, I mean, I understood some of the Spanish, how he stands on the shoulders of those who came before him, like the Ricky Martins, who had a spot. And it was great. Yeah. Lady Gaga had a part in this where they did her hit with Bruno Mars, but with like a samba music bass line to it. It was fantastic. But the serious part is, and it ended with all the flags of Latin America and Latin peoples around the world. Mm-hmm. Basically, it can be summed up with, we went through hell and high water, even had some visuals detailing Hurricane Maria and the power struggles as in electricity. He's saying that Latinos are here in America. We've overcome worse. We'll get through ice. That's how I took it. Tom?
All of that, and they was dancing. Because there was nothing wrong with anything that Mo said. And from the perspective of, you know, we were blessed last year with a very socially conscious message via Kendrick Lamar, who also gave us, you know, the cultural moment of the last 2 years with A Minor, but even more present today in the headlines. But Kendrick was very buttoned up and unsexualized. All of the people were in like these zip suits and they covered every part. And there was dancing, but it was protest dancing. It was message dancing. And Kendrick Lamar was the only person who had his own persona, except for when SZA came on and Serena. But everything else was, this is uniform, we're a background, and Kendrick is the star. This time, it was a very Spartan, stripped-down set last year. This time, he dressed the edges of the Super Bowl field with mock sugarcane. And as he wove through the maze of the sugarcane, he was showing like agua fresca parts and girls doing nails and old brothers playing dominoes. And the thing that I really loved about it was that unlike maybe something like In the Heights, which had basically one brown face in it, he was really showing there are black people in Puerto Rico. There are black people in Panama. It wasn't like, hey, we're all just Ricky Martins looking as light-skinned and you know, Americanized as possible. You had all complexions, and in the way that Kendrick stepped away from sexy, these little gals, first of all, they had the poom shorts on, and on top of the shorts, they had the little dress, the little skirt flap. So when they popped it, you get the little flap of the thing, and then it goes back down.
They had the ass to match, though.
I mean,
okay. So Puerto Rico was representing.
Oh, yeah. 1 million. So yeah, it was, oh man. So and it was always a different little piece of a story. Like when because he speaks and sings and performs very quickly. I saw the girls climbing up on the power lines, and I said, oh snap, he's going there. And they had a bodega, and they had a little thing, and every way he wove through the little maze, he was advancing the story. And there was a big billboard on the back, the only thing that beats hate is love. And then, like Mo said, at the end, all of a sudden, all of these Latino flags came up, and he was shouting out, you know, Uruguay, Paraguay, Panama, and all these Chile, all these other places, and Cuba. And then he also included the United States, and he included Canada. So it was really like, look, we're in all of these places, and you can enjoy and celebrate these cultural things. Because like I said, even if you couldn't understand a word of it except for Lady Gaga's song, you could relate to what they were bringing and contributing to the culture. And it was, the music was great. I mean, it was a banger, and a get up out your seat and shake, in the way that Kendrick's was just like, you're sitting in your chair, just mouth agape, because, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. This was more like what you expect from a Super Bowl, where it's going to be pretty girls dancing and good music and good vibes, not just the performer. It was a whole experience.
I don't know about you, Tom, but when I saw the sugar canes and I realized where he was going, it touched me.
It's amazing.
Cotton fields, woo!
Yeah, because it's the equivalent.
Yes. Now, Mo, from a production standpoint, this is something that we would talk about all the time on the Mo Kelly Show and later with Mo Kelly, how hard it is to produce a halftime show, because the sound is going out into the atmosphere, and it's really hard to put together a really good sounding show. Most of the shows may look good, but the sound is horrible. Even the lip syncing may be off, whatever. From a production standpoint, did Rock Nation, a la, you know, Jay-Z and the team, did they put together a fantastic show production wise?
I thought it was a fantastic show, but it wasn't the most sophisticated, pyrotechnic, three-dimensional show that you've seen on a Super Bowl stage. They stripped it down. I think Tom made this point. They stripped it down because you could see the field underneath, the Super Bowl playing field underneath it. And he was walking through a maze, and there were some moments where he would crash through a floor or go through a door and you go to a different scene, but it wasn't overproduced. And that's one thing I like, where it felt like you could relate to it without having to know all the words, without having to understand all of the subtext. You could have enjoyed that show just for the music and the dancing. If you were a friend of bachata or something that had to do with Latino musical culture, you could have enjoyed it just on that level. But for the rest of us who could see where he was going and what he was trying to say, he said fuck ICE without having to mouth the words. Right. That's what made it so good.
Major shout out to Jesse Collins as well. Jesse Collins, who is the executive producer and puts all these together, and actually the reason that I had gotten to radio some 30 plus years ago. So shout out to Jesse Collins for your meteoric rise in creative fame and doing that.
I think one of the big things is that there was another takeaway from last year's sound production issues with Kendrick, where in parts you couldn't really hear what was going on. You had to watch it later on Apple TV when they pre-mixed and remixed all of the tracks so that it sounded as good as it was supposed to. This on television sounded really great. And there were lots of practical things. They had to push things in and pull things out. And it gave a very one-shot feel because you're almost always on him. Sometimes they cut to wide shots, but then they cut to him and you're following through and the camera's going around him. It was almost like the most complex OK Go video in the world, where it's like, we know we've got to get this. And so everybody was together and he's going through this thing, and you know that all of this stuff was not set a few moments ago because so much is moving, but the way that they wisely kept the camera at field level so that you're looking at the artist. There weren't as many big wide shots like when they had the
like Rihanna,
or when they had the celebration of hip hop culture in LA, where you had to zoom back a lot. These were very intimate groups, 40 dancers as opposed to 400. And so you always felt like you were very in the moment. It was very much in your face. You were very much right there.
Oh, and there's one other thing. There was a generational message from, abuelas to niños. And there was a handing off of his Grammy that he won last week for album year to a child. No, it wasn't Liam Ramos. But I'm saying, he was basically saying, this is for the past and this is for the future.
Wow. Yeah, okay, so socially conscious messages mixed in between some badass rump shaking.
Yes.
I mean, yes. It was he very deftly wove together. It's like we've been building to a moment where we would get to a place where something like this would happen. And from a cultural perspective, last year for us, it was very much appreciated by us. Other people, more allies, I would say, and younger people who are hip hop fans appreciated the impact that he had on the industry last year. And, toppling another icon of the industry last year. And so it was very much a very natural outshoot of that particular moment. This year, given what has been going on in the first year of that presidency, this year, it's very of the moment in a different way. And since the decision was made a lot earlier, but still in the midst of everything that's going on with the ICE occupations, it just felt like, wow. And for the people who are, intimately interfaced with Latino culture, then I'm sure it felt very much more like a cultural touch point for them, especially to the extent that, to Mo's point, it was very cross-generational. Even though he's a hip-hop artist, his music and his tracks come from traditional Latino rhythms. And so between the bachata and the samba and all the other stuff, you had older musicians feigning that they were playing the trombone. You had violinists playing it. And you had, like I said, the old men sitting at the table slamming dominoes. And you saw every aspect of the culture represented. And it showed how, kind of in a way that's not completely dissimilar from Sinners, how music transcends and crosses and connects generations.
Now, Mo, something that I picked up on that you've spoken about on your socials is how the NFL and with what they're doing with Bad Bunny and with where they're going as a corporation, as a sports, entity, and how they have X amount of games that aren't even in the US and that they are trying to broaden their horizons and maybe gain the same level of fandom that, say, soccer, football gets, in trying to do that. Do you think that this is for those who watched it for what it is, not those who are watching the All-American Nobody Watched It Bowl? Do you think that the larger populace will get this and say, you know what, The NFL is not for just those few people that want it in Nebraska, Idaho, and somewhere in the Midwest. This is beyond the US. This is now something that they're trying to make into a global entity.
There are two things that people, I think, missed in the discussion, and I wish was discussed more beyond just me. I'm not like a savant when it comes to this. I think there were some glaring, obvious points that should be made. The NFL is a global business. They care about money more than anything. People inject their personal politics in it because they think everything which happens in America is about only people in America. But if you know the NFL, they're mostly Republican conservative owners. They're all MAGA, but not when it comes to their money. When it comes to their money, it comes to their money. And they know to grow the business of which they get an increasing share of, they have to grow it beyond the US borders. There are going to be 9 NFL games in abroad next year. Most of those in Latin-speaking cities and countries. The Raiders are playing in Mexico City next year, for example. They're having a game in Spain. I think they have one in Buenos Aires. I mean, do the fucking math. They are clearly saying, hey, the NFL is for you as well. You, the collective, the ustedes, all of you, not just Mexicans, but the world brown community. And when I saw Bad Bunny and the parade of the Latin nations flags, I said, oh shit, it all came together in that moment on the biggest stage.
Now, this could be something that would increase viewership, which the owners and the networks will all like, because more viewers, more money can be commanded from advertisers. But from all accounts, there was not a heavy bevy of advertisers doing really, really big spots. And for the most part, the spots from my read, the spots were trash. Did anything stand out at all commercial wise?
Yes. And the thing that stood out for me was Goodwill Duncan. So they had Ben Affleck, who took over the Matt Damon role. Matt Damon was not in it. And there was a heavy use of AI de-aging technology. And so you had Ben Affleck as the Matt Damon character. You had Jasmine Guy, who looked really solid thanks to some digital wizardry. You had I'm just saying, you had Carlton Banks, you had Jaleel White, you had Jason from Seinfeld, you had Ted Danson, you had Rachel from Friends, because the Ben Affleck character was kind of a pastiche of Good Will Hunting and also Ross Geller. And they even had a little Tom Brady thing that got added into the mix. So that was a very solid, I don't know what just happened with Liz. That was a very solid commercial for me. It was the only one. And then I would just say Hail Mary was perhaps the largest film that had a full trailer. And well, not even a full trailer, because it invited you to watch the full trailer, to Mo's point. He said that was something that was happening. So they used I Would Die For You by Prince in this super saccharine elevator music version. And I was like, that doesn't work for me. I'm sure Prince was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, they probably paid the mint for that too. Yeah. What's it up for you commercial wise, Mo?
I am a Steven Spielberg fan. I'm an even bigger Steven Spielberg fan when it comes to science fiction. I don't know if there's a bigger Steven Spielberg science fiction fan when it comes to aliens. So if you put a movie like Close Encounters in front of me, I'm going to see it. If you put War of the Worlds in front of me, even though it wasn't perfect, I'm still going to see it. When you tell me that Steven Spielberg has been ruminating on this for some 40 years to do another movie, I won't say like a la E.T., but a serious alien movie, and it basically leads off the Super Bowl broadcast with Disclosure Day, I'm going to be there. That was one of the highlights for me. That was
Disclosure.
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day. Okay. Okay.
I'd seen that trailer before, so it wasn't a surprise.
No, it wasn't a surprise, but I'm saying I thought it was going to, the rest of the day was going to trend in that way. It didn't, but I'm glad that they spend the money. Here's the real point. I'm glad they're spending the money on this movie so more people will see it. I like the State Farm commercial with John Bon Jovi. That was early on as well.
Dr. Liz, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone.
We just finished going through an in-depth analysis of the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny's impact, what the halftime show meant big picture, and we're just now getting into any Super Bowl spots that may have stood out, although from my understanding, again, most of them did not. Did anything catch your attention Super Bowl commercial-wise?
I didn't watch.
Okay, good. Me neither. Cool. No, hey, look, me and you were in the same boat.
Hey, Tom, let me ask Tom real quick. Did you see the Jurassic Park commercial with Xfinity cable? I kind of like that.
I did. And again, the thing that stood out to me across a bunch of commercials is how AI was being celebrated by people that AI is trying to replace. They had a whole commercial for Google AI, and it was a series of pictures that had been taken in a house that the family was trying to buy. And so you hear a mom's voice, which could have been an AI voice, say, hey, Google, add Bobby's things in this room. And Google went through pictures of Bobby's room, and then it digitally placed picture of these items in Bobby's room. And Bobby's like, oh my gosh, that's my room. And then she's like, Google, show us the backyard. And it shows the backyard and put some stuff in there. And it puts up, and the kid's all excited. And then it transitions from a computer screen into real life, and you see a body walk into the house. Again, could have been 100% AI generated. And because these actors in the two spots that Mo and I were talking about, the Goodwill Duncan and this other one with Jurassic Park, where they had to use the technology to de-age the actors, they also shot some new footage, because the premise of the ad is that Sam Jackson can't get Jurassic Park back online, and the Xfinity dudes, he's like, oh no, you just got to plug this in, and everything, all the gates are locked again, and so the movie never happens. It's like, wow, look at all of this shrimp, and they're sitting by the pool, and the doctor says, Professor Hammond, I am happy to give my full endorsement for your lovely park. And then it's just, they have rides and everything, and nothing ever broke. And so the whole movie didn't happen because Xfinity has great Wi-Fi. And so that was funny. I did laugh at that. But it was freaky to see all of these actors that's 40 years ago, and the computer said it wasn't 40 years ago. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I think it should be said that, of course, while there are so many voices, vehemently, opposing AI in production and Hollywood and television and film and blah, 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 blah. This week, it was announced that the new head of Disney taking over for Iger, one of her chief responsibilities will be the implementation of AI into future production. So while there may be those who want to be, mad and get a burr in their saddle and want to stick in the way of progress and want to say things like, I'm not going to watch it if it's got AI. Well, you'll just be watching nothing then, because television and film studios, producers, everyone and the like, they are not trying to spend money to please you. What they're trying to do is get stuff out. And if Super Bowl is any indication, guess what? We're going to be seeing a lot more AI created work coming to us soon, to the big and small screen, on our phones and everything. A lot of these companies, Netflix, Disney, so many of these companies, they are now creating content that is designed to be able to stream on your phones. They're not going to be spending gobs of money on production for something that, for people who are like, I don't even watch my TV anymore, I just watch shit on my phone.
Hey, Twala, think about this. How many millions of dollars can movie studios potentially save in post-production if they just, we need to do a reshoot with Chris Evans. No, we don't.
Right.
You know,
But I also wonder about the actors. Like, is it possible that they could have made a deal to where some of these actors who are everybody's aging, and the whole I don't remember when was it um Marvel, it was Avengers Endgame, and the de-aging of Michael Douglas.
Hmm.
And I'm wondering, like, maybe there's a life that some of these more senior actors are going to be able to get more life.
Well, we discussed this, Mo and I on
I
Later with
love
Mo Kelly and the Mo Kelly Show a while ago, how the rights for Peter Cushing, how he gave up those rights so he could be de-aged and they could use his likeness in the Star Wars franchise, and that James Earl Jones had done the same with his voice production and being able to use that for further use for Darth Vader long after it's gone, for animated series and things like that, and even live action, how they can still use the voice by way of AI, because there are certain individuals who want to license the rights to do so. And to your point, for some of these older actors, especially for women, where it is a lot harder for women by leaps and bounds, it is harder for women to age in Hollywood. Older women get pushed out. Older men, you could be old as shit and still be doing action movies, right?
Robert
Older
Redford.
women who may be able to say, you know what, I will license my likeness now. A Scarlett Johansson or whoever say, you know what, go on and keep me going. You need my voice, you need something else, and as long as I get a cut and get paid, yeah, I'll do this. And I know there are several hardcore actors and writers and the like who are like, no, I refuse. And I think that they are just like, those recording studios who at one point in time said, we're never gonna go the digital route. Now they're all gone. Tell me, are there any more record stores around? Are there any more, tell me the last time you saw a Tower or a Sam Goody? Shit is gone. We don't sell CDs and cassettes and LPs the way we used to. Why? Because of progress. Half
Hey,
the time
Paul,
we're not even on the computers like that anymore.
can I jump in there, because you made a great point, and I don't know if everyone remembers. There used to be a time where you could not make a record unless you went to an actual studio, and then you had to go to an actual engineer and a mixing location to have it mixed down for a final press version. Now, and the music industry was a good 25 years ahead of the movie industry, where people started making their own albums, first demo tapes, then albums at home, because the technology allowed for it. And then there was this period of equilibrium, out of balance, that the music industry had. Now you're seeing it with the movie industry, where it's not just making a movie on your iPhone. You have all these capabilities where you have a full-blown studio on your phone. That's where
Yes.
all this is headed.
Yes.
And there was a movie, I don't know how many of you saw it, but Robin Wright jumped headlong into this question of digital likenesses and working in movies in an animated feature called The Congress. You should look it up. It's worth seeing. It's very trippy, very highly stylized animation, and the third act goes completely gonzo. But the point is that Robin Wright, as an actor, decided she was going to get digitally scanned and licensed to a film company the ability to use her likeness so she could continue in these action features. She was an action star, and they wanted to continue with the franchise, and she increasingly could not do it. And so she made this deal, and then there are consequences later. But to Mo's point, my sister is a filmmaker, and she is getting her doctorate in screenwriting. And when, she wants to get a feature made, and I was looking at certain tools. Obviously, there are things like Midjourney, and which are very good AI tools, but not comprehensive enough to get a feature length thing, even if you have a good package. But there are companies out there where if you had $1,000 a month to spend, you could make a movie. You can create and develop characters, and the AI remembers what the characters are. You can get their voices the way you want their voices to be, and you can set them in any setting you could possibly want. And if you describe a scene in the prompt, you can get it to track however you want, and then you can, add dialogue. You can do all of these sorts of things. So what would have been impossible, even as an indie filmmaker, if you have $100,000 now, you can make something that looks like a sci-fi film. Look no further than Iron Lung. I mean, this was a YouTuber and got the rights to this video game, decided he was going to star in the movie, and it was neck and neck with the Sam Raimi film. So, I mean, and that wasn't even an AI thing. It was just a matter of a person who emerged from YouTube, like Justin Bieber did. All of these people who are using the digital tools that are available today to make a difference. The difference, I think, for me, between what Mo was talking about in terms of people having access to Pro Tools and now, all these other things, FL Studio, it was at least an artist using similar tools to what had been done in the past, but the gates were now open so that people could independently do things, that they were more beholden to a studio and what all those expenses. These days with these AI tools, you have Suno, you tell Suno AI, hey, I want a song that sounds like Sabrina Carpenter talking about buying peaches. And you'll get something that could play on air. And that's the difference with what AI versus just an improvement in technology. That's the thing that's scary to me, because when I see what is possible and I know the potential of deep fakes, it just really takes me back to this movie that I watched, Mountainhead, where the underlying premise is that it's like, Zuckerberg and Musk and Bill Gates and blah, 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 for these super tech people. And they go to this mountain retreat because the one guy who is the richest guy in the group, he's like Musk. He has created AI tools, and the AI tools are being used to foment unrest across the world. And the news can't even keep up with whether or not these things are real or fake. And so real people are getting harmed, and that kind of drives the narrative action. It's kind of a movie in a box. But that's the scary potential of this.
Yeah. I mean, look, for every creation that's out there, there's always some level of drawback and abuse of every technology. And most technologies, especially even AI, are now created for porn. There's a new robot that just debuted that implements a high level of AI, CJ, and all types of robotics right now that they are trying to launch in China as a new companion bot. This thing it walks, it moves right now at a 98 percentile match for an actual person. And the AI so advanced, it is able to respond in kind and keep a conversation going with somebody. So every single thing that we are looking at, and every single thing that's coming, this stuff is about to hit it out of the park. We're about to be in a whole new world where one of a few movies, be it Terminator, be it the Steven Spielberg movie where everyone was living in a headset, Ready Player One, all these different things are coming to a head in one way or another. Blade Runner, everything's about to happen. There are those who want to deny it. There are those who want to stay on this side of technology and don't want to accept it. But hey, man, this is what it is. It is what it is. And before we get too far flame, we know that we did not get an Avengers Doomsday trailer, which makes sense. I don't know why Marvel would have to share any of its time with Super Bowl or spend the money on a Super Bowl ad when they can just drop it online. I know the Supergirl trailer dropped hours before Super Bowl on YouTube, the new teaser for Supergirl. So a lot of trailers are just dropping in and around Super Bowl on YouTube because they know people are like, let me go and look for it and see if anyone's dropped something. So I think a lot of people took advantage of that. The new Supergirl trailer, it just tells a little bit more. The new look at the Mandalorian Grogu trailer just further cements that this film is not for individuals who are, say, fans of Andor. I will say that it's for people who are fans of a lighter, more fun, silly kind of era of Star Wars. It's not even for fans of the harder edge of.
I feel like the poster alone should have gave you that clue.
Yeah, it does. Look, the poster definitely. It's like it's almost a weird homage to the old original Star Wars posters, but it doesn't look as cool. It's like back then that was cool because that's all we had. So when you do it now, it's like, but you could do something so much better. You have the technology, you have the tools. You don't have to make this goofy, silly looking poster. So look, I say I'm sure Mandalorian and Grogu will be great for its target audience, which honestly I don't think is me. I look at the trailer, I'm like, this film doesn't look like it's made for me. I don't know if I'm supposed to go see this. Maybe
who is it made
kids.
for?
I mean, maybe your son, Liz, he's young enough that it may be for him. I wouldn't say your daughter, but maybe your son.
He doesn't.
Oh, he does. Okay.
But I think there's a point to be made here.
He said, if you want to buy stuffed animals.
Well, there's a point to be made here because Mandalorian, then Mandalorian and Grogu started out as a pretty serious series in the vein of Andor. Okay, there was real stakes, there was real danger for the Mandalorian, and when you had Filoni come and join the crew and give his vision, it was very authentic to Star Wars. And now it seemed like it's taken a turn where we're just going for the merchandise. We know that we can sell a lot of Grogus. We need younger kids, and they're offering up a story which is very unlike the actual series.
I think this is the final note for Kathleen Kennedy. I think that the Mandalorian and Grogu film, I think it reeks of the Kathleen Kennedy, trying to just sell stuff. I think Kathleen Kennedy is looking like, to your point, she's looking to sell toys, looking to sell stuffed animals and merchandise. She doesn't care about the story.
These faithful fans who will eat and watch crap once every, like you get a good thing once every blue moon, and you are holding on to hope that something good will come, and then 8 years later you get something good, and then you will suffer through all the crap. And I just love great. I love your fans.
But hold on. I really don't understand how y'all let that woman repackage Gizmo and go into 4 seasons. That's all that thing is. That is Gizmo. Down to, because all it is a head on top of a little coat now. And I do not understand this. Every time, right? That is Gizmo.
That is Gizmo.
That's what it is. And so, as I watch it, I'm like, why isn't this creature more CGI? They let the creature be CGI sometimes.
He moves hands like
and
this.
it looks so silly. And I understand when it's a throwback to the original Yoda and how Frank Oz made Yoda come to life. But Yoda also looked like a puppet. And this little baby version of Yoda looks even more puppet-like because it doesn't have any dimensions. You can't, the coat looks like a doll coat. It doesn't even look like a coat for a small creature. It looks like a doll's coat. It's stiff. His arms are out like Ralphie in A Christmas Story. It's just dumb. And I'm not a Star Wars fan like that. I really don't care. I will not see this in the theaters. I just won't, because
even with the A+ pass? No,
because there are some Star Wars things, like when they brought Giancarlo Esposito and the Darksaber, I was like, oh, okay, that's that looks pretty cool. And when they brought Luke back and de-aged Luke, I thought that was cool. That was a really nice little moment. And I like shows like Ahsoka. That was, the parts of it that was cool. I liked it, but I'm not gonna go see. I I don't watch The Mandalorian on TV, so I'm certainly not going to go sit next to people who annoyingly purchase their seat next to me when there's 12 seats in the row that are empty. I hate that. So I'm certainly not going to expose myself to that because I wouldn't want to get up and be sucking my teeth and hurt the experience of folks who actually came there to enjoy it.
And I think you missed the part that seats will be empty. Seats will be empty for this movie.
I believe that. I do not believe that they are generating any level of fandom or support with the trailers as they stand right now. It looks like the trailers, at least, look like it's at television production levels. It does not look like it's at theatrical production levels. And again, I look at this is just the final bow for Kathleen Kennedy and, hopefully moving forward, because all the other projects that were in the hopper are scrapped. None of the projects that she had that she was trying to shepherd and get in are moving forward. So that says something about where now that, Filoni is in charge, he's kind of like, yeah, those were nice ideas. Thank you. And you already started advertising this film before you stepped out. So we're already locked into this one. We got to do this one. But it's kind of like when James Gunn took over DC. Yeah, he still put out Shazam and he still put out that Flash movie, but they didn't get any support. And to your point, Liz, those seats were empty. And those films did not do shit because they were part of the outgoing administration and part of the Snyderverse and all that, where they were like, yeah, dog, we're good. Okay, got you. We're already signed. We're already contractually obligated to release them, and we will. But moving forward, we're done. We're done. So, before we hit that hour point, I did want to get into some stuff that we missed last week as far as what we were watching. One of them was a big one that came out, and when I say big, I mean big budget for Amazon Prime, The Wrecking Crew, Dave Bautista, Jason Momoa, and a who's who cast. They brought a lot of heat to Amazon. From all reports, it was a big, draw for Amazon. Of course, it's the highest rated film. Once again, anytime Amazon drops something, it's the highest rated film Amazon's ever dropped. Sure, according to Amazon. But I watched it, and for me, it was definitely rated TV. I had a great time watching it. It's part of my Amazon package. Was it stupid? Yeah, it was stupid. But no less stupid than a Fast and Furious film. So for me, the bromance between Bautista, Momoa, it was believable. The film plays like two people that really, really do know each other, and it looked like they had a good time making it. I like the representation of the island culture throughout the film, and they really, really stuck to that. And I think for me, look, was I mad watching it? No. Would I watch a second one? Yeah, I would. I don't know.
It was a strong throwback to that type of film, the buddy film, and this time they're actually brothers. And the one of the lines that made me laugh out loud was the young character Pika, who worked for the brother's father. He says, "You all look like The Rock fucked himself and had twins," and that made me laugh out loud. It is a dumb movie, but it's an action movie. So unlimited clips, although they did show them switching clips in the one sequence that was the most ridiculous in terms of gunplay. 2 huge car chase scenes that were ridiculous. A lot of really cool action set pieces. Jason Momoa gave us a preview, I think, of how the main man Lobo is going to be slinging and killing people. Some martial arts stuff happening, some Mercy for Nuns style stuff happening. Dave Bautista gets one of the bloodiest and most brutal kills I have ever seen. And so it was big dumb fun and clearly set up for a sequel. And my goodness, Miss Baccarin.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I don't believe that this movie gets made in a pre-streaming era, but I'm glad it did, and we'll get more of it. And Tom took my main point. It is an homage to 80 80s buddy cop movies. You have the straight-laced one and the wisecracking one who's prone to be unpredictable and do wild and crazy stuff. And the only way they can win is they work together because each has their skill set, which works at a given time in the movie. So the action was over the top, good choreography, good one-liners, the obligatory helicopter that can't hit shit, and you could see didn't have the super big budget money because when you see the movie, there's this helicopter freeway scene and it's just bad CGI. It's just
it's bad CGI, really bad. All AI, and you're like, there's no way in the hell this could happen anywhere in the world, but sure, why not?
Why not?
But that's the thing for me, seeing that, I was like, this is the big excessive bullshit that you want from a movie like this. This is like Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
There's no way an antagonist who wants to take over tribal lands on a state like Hawaii would murder 150 Hawaiians with his Black Ops helicopter when you're taking the car and you need the laptop and the thumb drive and the password. So if you blow up this car, it's all gone. Like, none of it made sense, but it was making no sense in the best possible way. Just with Monica, we don't know anything about her except that she's the wife. And all of a sudden, she turns into the goddamn transporter in a minivan, spinning, driving backwards, ripping off arms by digging up against. I mean, it was so dumb, but wonderfully dumb. The chemistry between all of the main characters was really, really good. And I agree with Mo in that this movie would not have been made because it's way too pro Indigenous people. Like, the white guy gets away with nothing. Like, there's not even a point in the movie where really you get a sense that the white guy is winning because you've got the ground level people who are like, yeah, this isn't going to happen. And it's like, you're right, sis. It is not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. So it was really a very enjoyable movie. And it let me know that if this is what we can get out of streaming culture, movies that we wouldn't have otherwise seen with actors of this caliber, then it's fine. Yeah.
Did you get to watch it, Liz?
No, I saw their other movie that they came out with, Mercy, in the movies.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, okay.
Actually, I saw it in 3D. It was like IMAX 3D because it was that that movie that you weren't sure, it was a surprise movie. I felt it was Minority Report, like an updated version of Minority Report.
That's right. Yeah.
And
its box office is indicating that it needs mercy.
That was that. And I was saying, like, how was it? Because I was wondering what the theater experience was like. I didn't see it in the theater.
It was an hour and a half. I mean, it's short. So, I mean, that's the positive.
It's one of those single setting location type movies.
Yes.
It's minimalist.
Very much so.
And surprisingly, I just read an article that Running Man, which shared a similar box office fate, has now found an audience on streaming. But I didn't know
really
what network is Running Man on?
Huh?
What network is Running Man on? Or what streaming platform?
Whoever has it, it's probably HBO Max. Was it a Warner Brothers thing?
I don't know. I haven't found it.
I enjoyed Running Man more than I enjoyed Mercy, though.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I don't like Chris Pratt, so it was going to be a hard sell for me anyway.
Paramount Plus.
Oh, Paramount Plus. I do like the actor who played the CGI judge. I like her. I loved her in Mission Impossible.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes, Rebecca Ferguson. I like her.
Philo and
I've liked her in everything I've ever seen her in. She's a really exceptional actor, and so I appreciate that. But I'm also watching Hijack, and Hijack season 2 is I mean, it was an obvious way to go, But it's doing a good job. It's doing its job.
That's the Idris Elba show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
On Apple TV.
That's what I need to start season 2.
yeah, well worth it.
You know, Shelter's out
What is Shelter?
in theater. It's our
What is
dude.
that?
Oh yeah, it's Jason
Statham.
Statham.
Oh
He has-
man, look,
He's
man,
written
Jason
and
Statham.
produced it, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not a bad movie. It is predictable. It is completely a movie that he would do. It makes zero sense. But you're along for the ride.
None of
That's
his movies make sense. It's the
I know,
same
but-
dude.
It's the same movie.
It's the same movie.
Yeah,
but I
it
don't
really
mind
is.
it. I don't mind it.
I just Beekeeper. The Beekeeper.
I like
the
Beekeeper because he
transporter
was
of the
protecting
bees.
Felicia Rashad.
Yeah, that's fine.
Who
Jason,
died.
yeah,
She did.
He
She committed.
needs like a Tooth Fairy movie or something to show me some an ability to stretch.
Nah,
Because, like,
he
it's literally-
loves being that
I'm
former SAS soldier who gets these odd jobs.
I'm
He
old
loves
and
it.
I'm rough, and I'm gonna
He
draw
knows
them
who
a
he
kill.
is. I'm
Yeah,
not
that is
mad
who
with
he is.
that.
At least
I know
he didn't-
he's got another one coming up, and he's doing some. I think he's a cab driver or something in the next one. He's got another everyman, blue collar job film in the works. I can't remember what it was. I think it's something like a cab
I
driver or
think they're
something
going
like
to do a
that.
sequel to Beekeeper too.
Yes,
I-
come
I-
on. Yep.
Yep.
I feel.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yes, Tom.
True story.
Yes. Yes.
Look, if people are going to keep watching it and these hour and 40-minute movies, I think
Look,
keep
he's
it going.
cornered the market. He has cornered that market, and he's like, "Look, I'm gonna take this to the bank, and I'm gonna
Until
keep
you
making this
stop.
money."
I would much rather watch another movie featuring the Halle brothers than see another Jason Statham movie, because at
I don't
least
mind it.
if you're gonna give me action and ridiculousness, have two charismatic leads that make it enjoyable to watch.
He doesn't
And-
bother me. I'll look for that from
No,
him.
it's not that he bothers me. It's just that it's literally the same thumb kicking ass in every movie.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's how.
You know,
but see, that's
it's-
how Steven Seagal made his money. I mean, it's
I'm
not a
Jason
result.
Statham. Steven Seagal blew up and he was an asshole. This is Jason Statham in every movie. I mean, it's like
I know when
get
they
it.
killed his dog, I was like, get him. After you killed the dog, I was over it.
Oh yeah, I remember when John Wick did that. Just,
You killed my
do your
dog.
thing,
Oh
Jason.
my
Make
God.
your money,
I love
Jason.
it.
And I just found out, like, he got his start as a dancer in like a CNC Music Factory video, which just makes it absolutely
Oh.
Oh, that's funny.
hilarious to me.
Oh,
That's funny. I would never
He was
suspect.
actually in one of those, like a go-go boy in one of those 80s.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey,
videos.
but you know what? One of Jean-Claude Van Damme's first appearances in a film period wasn't Breaking. Wasn't
Yeah.
Breaking. He was a background, and he was, moving around and kind of happy. And I'm like, is
Yeah.
that
I
Jean-Claude
thought that was
Van Damme?
AI the first time I saw it. I said it can't be.
No, I know. I went back and put on my DVD and watched it. I was like, no, that's his ass in that damn scene. Look at him just back there, just
Black tank
goofy as
top.
shit. What you watching, Mo?
Okay, well, we talked about this in the chat, and I want to make a recommendation, even though it may be against Tom's wishes. There's this movie called Relay, and I didn't even know about it, with Riz Ahmed in it.
Hmm.
I think he's, you may know him from Rogue One. I think he's a fantastic actor.
Hmm.
And this movie talks about corporate espionage and an intermediary who kind of negotiates that or helps bring it to a close without it becoming public or litigation. That's the setup. Riz Ahmed doesn't say a word for the first 30 minutes of the movie. And I don't want to give away too much, but it's just a well-crafted thriller. There's some holes, but it's worth your time. In other words, there's a reveal at the end, which is completely impossible if you're paying attention earlier in the movie, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. Relay, you can find it on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw this on a sight unseen at AMC, so I got to enjoy it in the theater, and it has echoes of The Apartment. It has echoes of Enemy of the State, which was directly influenced by The Apartment. So It's solid and it holds together. And to Mo's point, the conceit of the movie hinges on the fact that the way Riz Ahmed works in the shadows is that he communicates through a relay service for deaf people. So he's got the computer and he's typing in his response. So the people he's dealing with never hear his voice. They don't know what he looks like. And that anonymity allows him to do what needs to be done. And the person has to, there's this whole ritual of, submit. And once you say what your reply is, you say it. And then the person on the deaf side, he types in the thing to Riz and Riz responds. It's very well done. It's a small, tight cast and it's very effective. And to Mo's point, even when it falls apart logically at the end, it doesn't make you regret that you spent the time seeing the movie. Solid recommend.
I know I am super late to the party, but I just started The Night Manager. Finished season 1 and I'm well into season 2, and I love The Night Manager. I really, really do. It is a serious, thorough spy, series. The onlyest thing that I walk away with so far from The Night Manager is that Tom Hiddleston could never in his wildest dreams be James Bond. Never in a million years could Tom Hiddleston be James Bond. He does not have the look or the requisite tough edge to him. He just couldn't. I mean, unless they're going to go with a really soft Bond, that's it. And then his walk, he has the weirdest walk, man. This dude has a Loki walk. It's very unsettling to see because you see him walking. It's like, what's wrong with his walk, man? What's wrong with the way this guy walks? It's like he's an action hero walking. It's very, very stiff. But other than that, I like the series itself. I think it's a very, very good series. So The Night Manager, if you are late like me, get off of the late freight and start watching The Night Manager.
Can I answer the question in the chat? I did see The Lost Bus, and it's on Apple TV. Matthew McConaughey. It's really good.
That's the one where they're in the fire, stuck in the fire.
Yeah, and it's based on a true story. I mean, Apple TV makes some, there's most of their products are really good. Like right now, Shrinking is back, and that is my show on Apple TV.
I remember Shrinking only because Mo interviewed one of the stars of the show.
You had Rachel Stevenson on.
Yeah,
and it's Harrison Ford. I mean, personally, I love it so much because it's Pasadena, and you can tell exactly where this is, where they are, and Harrison Ford is just a perfect role for Harrison Ford. Like you buy into him being, cranky and old.
And as long as it keeps him off whatchamacallit.
Liz, did you see that they've introduced his character now with Alzheimer's?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you get to see how well he can act. He acted so well that Michael J. Fox, Parkinson's, not Alzheimer's.
Yeah, Parkinson's.
So Michael J. Fox was watching the show and had to be on the show because Harrison Ford was so damn good at emulating someone with Parkinson's. So that ought to tell you how talented he is as an actor when sometimes the roles may be beneath his stature.
Damn.
And they were in the first, that was the first episode. First episode.
Yep.
Of the new season. No, it's a fantastic show.
Dope.
Really
I love it. Lots of good stuff to catch up on and delve into. Have no idea what we will get into next week, but we will be here. Definitely thank all of you for riding with us. And we appreciate your support. Tell a friend. There's something coming out next week that I was looking forward to. Next week. Is They Will Kill You next week?
No, that's not until end of March.
Oh, okay. Damn it. All right, well, there's something coming out.
Goat is coming out next week.
Well, we look forward to your review.
Send help. Go see Send Help.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Go see Goat.
No. You know what's crazy? The other day, I wanted to get I was in the area and I just wanted to run in and grab some food for the kids, and that was in Porter Ranch, and I was like, man, what can I get that y'all like? And I said, oh, I know that my daughter, she likes the strips for some reason. She likes the strips at AMC. And my son likes those little stone-fired pizzas. I literally just used my free AMC pass to just go in there and order food and use my discount to get the food. And just said, I went in, I scanned my ticket, and I got a ticket for Mercy. Went in, went to the cashier, ordered my food, got it, and walked out. And even the guy at the front was like, sir, what, huh? And I said, I just need to get some food. I just wanted to get some food. Thank you very much.
Wuthering Heights is coming out next week, but I mean,
can't do it.
Can't do it.
Me, that kind of shit. Nope. Can't do it.
Nope. I'm good.
Nope.
Right. Till next week, Dr. Liz, take us out.
Good night, everyone.
Mo Kelly.
Para la cultura, viva la raza. Bad Bunny kicked it in his ass tonight.
Tom.
¿Dónde está mi bonisuit?
I love it. Excelsior.